somewhat comfortably cozy. And to our eyes of modern viewers, it appears, while carved in the side of a hill, to be a hobbit hole.
You've brought me here for a reason, girl.
So Gurney is like, yes, I have brought you here for a reason. My mother wishes to speak with you. She sent word. There is a demonstration during the wedding, and she would like to show everyone just how powerful you are.
Is that right?
Gurney kind of smiles and blinks very slowly and is like, yes, my mother wishes everyone to know just how good you are at magic.
I see. So at this point, I feel like I should spend a bond uh, to look into Gurney's heart.
Okay?
Um,
You're spending one bond?
yep. And I guess what does your character intend to do?
Gurney intends to. So, how are you phrasing this in game? Oh, I guess
Uh,
you're asking the player. Okay,
well,
so
yeah. So
yeah,
yeah.
Gurney intends to set you up into a situation where you have to use your magic in
Okay.
a way that is not favorable to
Okay. I see. Well, I would not back down from such an opportunity. And I turn my eyes to the. Well, I guess we're inside the house at this point, right?
you. No, I think you're still standing outside.
Okay. So I linger my gaze for just a half second too long on her.
Do you give a significant glance?
No, 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 no. I'm looking at her, appraising the situation. I know that I think at this point the penny has dropped, so to speak. And I realize that whatever I feel like whatever I have been trying to do with Gurney, it's starting to fall apart or has been for some time. And I'm learning this just now. So I decided to go along to see where this is going. And I am going to go see her mother.
Okay. Gurney opens the door before you, and there's Thora Elfsdottir. Though she is 30, she appears to be but a 20 something, a very beautiful woman still, easily still marriageable, though her husband is now long dead.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, Gurney! I am glad to see you again, my daughter. And then she sees that you are there, Una Crone, and she pulls like so there's like a umbrella case, like an umbrella holder full of swords by the door. And
Mm-hmm.
her hand goes to one of the swords and she says, Una Crone, what are you doing here? You vile, despicable witch.
That's an excellent question. Why am I here, Gurney?
Gurney like Gurney goes to her mother and whispers in her ear real quick and is saying something, and Thora's hand comes off of the sword and says, "Boon the crone, might I offer you the hospitality of my home for the afternoon?"
I will take the hospitality of a chair, nothing you have cooked or prepared.
She says, "You would insult me before you cross the bounds of my house?"
It's no insult to refuse a gift. Actually, it is.
Yeah.
She
She
says that anyway with like a wink.
yeah, I'm trying to think of how Thora would respond to that. Hard to stay in character when you're like, yeah, it's no insult to do something incredibly insulting.
Okay, all right. If you want to dial it back,
No,
That's
that's fine.
that's like no, that's
No,
like
that's
somebody walks into your house and you're like, "Would you take your boots off?" And you like spit on the floor and you're like, "Yeah, I'll fucking take my boots off."
I'd like to point out that she actually drew a sword and pointed it at me.
Also
Okay.
true.
No,
Yeah,
It's
fair
it's
enough.
not
No,
exactly
I don't
like
think
we're on
she
the
drew
best
it.
of like
She put her
hospitality.
hand on the sword in the sword case.
Yeah, but
Well, your
it's
tone
still-
was menacing.
yeah,
There was no pointing.
There was
of
implied
swords.
menace.
There was implied menace. But
I
you
don't
have
think
to
it's
remember,
entirely.
Thora Ailsdottir fears Una Crone.
That's true. That's true. But like putting your hand on your sword when you're in the presence of someone is also an insult, and so she's returning insult for insult.
I see. she does invite you inside, and despite what you have just said, Thora Ailsdottir, ever a good hostess, asks, "Would you like wine or water?" Un the old.
Of course I would. My throat is parched.
So she's like, "Gurney, go get the good wine from out back. I assume you remember where we keep it." And Gurney is like, "Of course, mother." And Thora sits down across from Un the Old and looks at her suspiciously with dark eyes and says, "What is it you have been teaching my daughter, Un the Crone? Have you infected her with your dark magics?"
I think the dark magics were already there when I met her. I've merely guided her on a path to greater power. Far better than a woman such as yourself could provide, I might add.
So I think she probably got like a cloth or something, and her hands are like white now holding it. And she says, "Again, you have crossed the threshold of my home, and you would continue to offer insult. Are you a man now?"
I am offering no insult beyond the truth. If you cannot hear it, then who am I to stay here? Why am I here, after all? It is your daughter who brought me here. Surely the insult should rest with her. Why would she bring such a woman such as myself to here?
So, Thoras just looks a little confused for a moment, and then kind of smooths her dress out and adjusts her beads. She's got a lot of beads
Mm-hmm.
as like a necklace, and kind of like I wear the fur. She's got beads all over the place, and she shrugs her shoulders and says, "Un the Crone, Gurney has informed me that your magics are at the greatest power they have ever been. And as part of my gift to the Gothi, I wish to demonstrate your power for him. A mere test of your magics at the celebration. I assume you have no issue with this."
As I was going to give the gift of vision myself, I don't see why not. However, it would be poor form if we both gave the same gift.
She said, "Perhaps I can offer a alternative arrangement."
What would you suggest?
She says, "I will give the gift of the vision, and you will give the gift of gold." And she puts an ounce of gold on the table and says, "I will give this to you, and you can gift it to him. And thus the circle of gifting is complete."
Some three-way bonding going on here.
I'm not entirely sure. Like at this point, Un is a little baffled, and I'm not entirely sure how to play this out because she's basically giving me a gift to give to the
Yes.
for the wedding
Yes.
that she could give directly herself, and instead is using it to buy my gift of the vision, which I was going to give anyway. Like this seems very, very odd.
She's honing in on your gift.
She's honing in on my gift. What do you
Yeah,
mean?
you're the one giving a vision. She's trying to buy your vision so she can be the one to give it to him. She's giving you the gold. You're going to gift him the gold. She's going to gift him your vision. The question is which I think seems to be which do you want to give him? And do you want to insult her by refusing what she's offering? Right? I mean, it certainly seems like
It doesn't seem like it would be an insult to refuse. She's trying to negotiate right now, and I don't think
Right.
she has. Like, I don't see how these terms are advantageous to me at all. Like, just giving, like, yeah. Let's see. I will spend a bond with her then. And I think I already know. I think the only one that's relevant is what does your character intend to do?
Excellent.
So, I mean,
So I feel like what happens is you look into her eyes and you get like one of those Japanese 50s movies. It goes like all black and white, and we just see your eyes on one side of the screen and her eyes on the other side of the screen, and they're both like moving up and down like this, and everybody's like, and you detect absolute menace within her.
Uh-huh.
She's going to use this situation. Well, her intention, what does she intend to do? She intends to have you killed.
She intends to have me killed.
Yes. Very soon, she intends to have you killed.
Okay.
You look into her heart and see the absolute menace that is there.
Okay. She intends to have me killed. Furthermore, Gurney is the one who brought me here. So I think at this point I have resigned myself to the fact that Gurney is not only acting to supplant me, but to murder me. Being that she brought me to the doorstep of someone who is going to try to have me murdered. So this has interesting. There's probably a lot going through Un's mind at this particular moment, and she resolves herself to make the most of it. Right. So,
here's an interesting fact. You used a move that targeted someone you have a relationship with.
yes.
So mark that.
Okay.
I think, do you have a mark with Balder?
Yes.
You have a mark with everyone on the list.
I
now.
do.
Okay, so let's wipe all the marks.
Okay.
Gain an advancement.
Okay.
Let's go look at our Seath Kona sheet and see what that is going to get you here.
Okay.
So on the far right-hand side of Seath Kona, it should say when you gain an advancement, you get something.
Yep. I gain a new move from my current role or gain a move from another female role. So
in looking into the heart of Thora Elfsdottir, you get just a little stronger.
Yep. Okay. So I will search through these when it's not my turn to talk.
Do you feel like perhaps that this scene, we'll come back to it, we'll put a pin in it, and we'll head over to...
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that, because I need time to think about how Un is going to respond to this situation.
Okay, yeah. So we've got, like, you are considering the fact that she definitely wants to kill you.
Yep.
And Thora's like, would you like some tea? And that's where the scene like cuts out. Is like the two of you sitting down and drinking tea. And that way we can come back when the tea's finished.
Okay.
Balder Odinson, you are very, very alone. Your two closest allies have left you. Your only remaining like supporters in the village are basically your Huskarls.
Basically.
You're standing alone in this farmstead that's not your own.
And they don't really like me all that much.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What do you do here?
Well, interesting question.
I thought so too.
I think it's time to do a little meet and greet. How far away is the wedding? How much time?
Narratively, you can get to wherever you're going instantly.
Okay, but is the wedding today or tomorrow?
I think it's probably over the next 3 days. Like, there's probably the pre-wedding is tomorrow, the wedding is in 2 days, and then in 3 days is like the post-wedding.
Okay.
They really go all out.
Yeah, of course.
You know, Ingold and Ingolf just love their daughter so much.
Of course. I was thinking of going and having a little chat with the brother who despised me so much last time I visited.
Oh. So I think that you're like, oh, I'm going to go see Samander. And lo and behold, he appears through the crowd with axe at hand, you know, jangling on his belt, wearing very fine mail of chain. He has the symbol of the white Jesus. What is it called? The white Christ.
White Christ.
Yeah.
Yep. He's carrying the good book. He has a cross about his neck made of pure silver. And he sees you and says, "Ah, Brother Balder, How are you?
Oh, I am great. It seems you have taken up the new religion.
Says, yes, the White Christ has been good to me. Once I have accepted Jesus as our Lord and Savior, much has come well to my village. I hear things are not so good in your village. I hear that they spit upon you now and call you a coward behind your back. Is this true?
Well, if they do it behind my back, I wouldn't know about it, certainly. Now then, has everyone here taken up the new faith?
No, no, not many have taken up the new faith. I hope to set the new standard, you know.
Ah, and what of your family?
They are supportive of my life choices. They
Mm.
still follow the old gods. Father sticks to Freyr and Freya.
Ah,
How
I
are the
see.
gods in your village? I hear that you killed the old priest.
Oh, yes, well, he challenged me, unfortunately. He was getting a little bit old, and, well, I could, you know how it is. You can't back down from a challenge like that.
So I think that when you say that, he kind of gestures to a graying hair that's fallen down in front of your face and says, "Yes, I believe that when some get old, they should be removed."
Indeed. Well, what are your plans? Are you going to travel far to Christian other lands, or simply try and spread the faith here?
So I do you feel like your honor is in question from this guy? I feel like I'm doing a really good job of trying to insult you, but I'm not getting a rise out of you.
Well, that's because it's really hard to insult me, Thor. But I'm not sure. I don't know if Baldur could take it. It's a good question. If you want, I will roll.
If you feel like maybe you don't think that this guy's like a serious enough, you don't treat him as if he was a man. You treat him as if he was a boy or a woman. You know
Basically, I
those you know those followers of the White Christ, they're not even real warriors, right?
yeah, I know. I think
How do you see Samander? Like,
I look at him as kind of a wussy. He wussed out. Started following Christianity with all that show the other cheek bullshit. He's not. I mean, he's clearly no threat anymore. I mean, he may be able to talk, but he's just a he's no threat anymore. He's just.
okay,
I
so
mean,
you don't feel like your honor is in question then.
I don't really feel. I don't really feel. I feel like he's.
Okay.
I mean, if he's really gonna stick to that religion, he's gonna be all merciful and trying to be good and stuff that I could consider to be complete crap. So like, this guy's nothing. I'm just gonna I'm just gonna use this to. This is an interesting twist because this people, weren't really all that happy with this at this time. This might make it easier for other people to see him as I see him, as a man that needs to leave or die. I don't really care either way.
I
Either way
feel like
works.
I feel like this is all taking place in like a Matrix space, like
Mm,
literally from the first Matrix, where Neo's like guns, lots of guns. Just there's
mm.
this white area, and Baldur is in his head, like pacing back and forth, like, how do I do this? How do I use this against him? Yes, yes, excellent, good, good. He's like filling out a board where there's lots of arrows, and they're all pointing towards Laura.
Yeah, but I am curious about one thing. I would like to spend one of my bonds to look into his heart and see see what his actions truly are. What if he truly has embraced this new faith and
So which one
and
are
all of
you?
its.
Which one are you using? Because there's a lot of choices you have there.
let's see. I can look into his. I can. I suppose I'd need to spend more than one to get more than one answer. Let's start out by trying to figure out what his what his plan is. Let's start with that.
You have to ask a specific question from that list. It sounds like you're asking, what does he intend to do?
Yeah. What does he intend to do?
So, you're looking him over. You've known him for some time. And it seems obvious to you, given his stance and his general arrogance, he intends to shame you at some point during the wedding.
Interesting. I guess I'll need to make sure I do a what do you call it over there? A preliminary Counter-Strike.
Oh, you need to do First Strike Part 1, First Strike Part 2.
Yeah,
You're
let's
gonna Rambo him.
yeah. So
Okay, get him.
well, let's see how happy his family truly is with all this. Well,
Are you asking
it was-
another question? Because there was talk of multiple.
no, not for now.
Okay.
Now
Hey.
I'd like to go and zoom back to let other people get a chance in, and then I go and talk to his father.
Okay, all right. So let's cut over back to Un the Old. Have you picked a move, Un the Crown?
Yes, I have actually. I
Excellent.
will be picking Spellweaver. When someone asks you to help them with your magic and you agree, gain 3 bonds with them. You can spend those bonds to assist or hinder their actions even at a distance. I take this to mean that this is a request that she is offering for me to use my magic on her behalf.
I like how you're picking a move to literally help you in this situation. Very well.
It's something I had my eye on previously.
No, it works out perfectly. Sure.
I am actually curious how that actually relates to like NPCs, because normally whenever you're spending bonds, you're assisting people with their roles or hindering their roles. However, that only
Look
really
into
works with
someone's
player.
heart as well.
What's that?
You can look into someone's heart, and there are certain moves that are also powered by bonds.
Okay. Okay. So I will be taking that. And Un the Old agrees. And she agrees to gift her vision to. This is for the Ingolds or Ingolf, or is this for the Godi?
The Gothi is Ingold.
Ingold. Okay, so she wants me to gift a vision to Ingold, which I agree to.
Excellent.
In return for the money she has provided, and in the process,
she has gained a bond with you because she gave you a gift, and she immediately spends that to say, "How could I get your character to do something incredibly dangerous?"
how could you get my character to get, or how could you get my character to do something incredibly dangerous?
Self-destructive dangerous,
so
or
I'm-
like
Self-destructive.
So,
She's trying to
I would
think-
actually contend that her gift, so to speak, was actually payment for services.
Mm,
it
I don't
is.
think
Sh-
I
It
don't
is.
think so.
It
You
is.
got,
She's-
you got
she's
something
straight.
out of it. You
No,
got
no, no,
three
no.
bonds.
No, well,
She's
that's just
buying
because
the
I'm.
service of her doing the vision.
I mean, I was planning on gifting the vision anyway, and she basically paid me this bit of gold, an ounce of gold. Is that what you said?
An ounce of gold.
She paid me an ounce of gold to give the vision to the Gothi on her behalf instead of mine. I don't think that's a gift.
A gift, by definition, is free of let, lien, or other requirement. She did not gift it. It's a
Very
pay.
well, fine.
So yeah,
Just so you know, you can mark down you have a bit of silver, which is the price of an ounce of gold.
a handful of silver, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now that our business is concluded, I will be on my way. I'm sure my companions have wondered if I've fallen into a ditch somewhere. There are so many of them in these lands. Enjoy your evening. Fine tea, by the way. It is currently undrunk. still where it sat.
I think that both keys are completely undrunk. You guys
Yeah.
have just spent like 20 minutes looking at each other and occasionally saying something. And before you go, Thora's like, "Oh yes, please try not to fall into a ditch and die before the wedding. I would hate for you to miss the end."
I'm quite touched by your caring for me. I assure you my apprentice Gurney will save me from such a fate. And she walks out. Gurney, girl,
That's when Gurney arrives with the alcohol.
it's time to go. Put that down. We head on out. Handful of silver richer with the agreement that I will provide a vision for the Godi. So, is there any more that is okay?
I think we're good there.
I'm making my way back to my companions.
Balder, did we want to cut back to you real quick?
If Olaf's cool with that.
Yeah.
All right. After this, I got something for Olaf. Let me just say it involves Bertie Hallett's daughter. You want to just
Right.
prep yourself for that?
All right.
I'm thinking about having a little conversation with Ingólfur Þormundsson, the father of the bride and of the new Christian man, and to congratulate him on this most auspicious occasion.
Okay. Yeah, you meet up with Oh yeah, I'm definitely ruining it. Document. I totally just deleted like half the
Control Z,
Alright.
Control Z.
We're good. All right, Ingold Thormundsson is back. We got him. Mission accomplished. All right, so Ingold agrees to meet with you. He's just a little busy, what with his daughter getting married over the next few days.
Of
But
course,
he's got
of
time
course.
to meet with, a poor old farmsteader from the nearby village. Hard luck. And he's seated upon a very fine seat in his longhouse and says, wearing enormous bear furs and other symbols of wealth, carrying a staff with gold rings through it that kind of jangles whenever he moves the staff. He says, "Ah, it's you, Bolaf Dolan's son, right?"
Close enough. Well, I would have thought you'd remembered me more, though, after that wonderful feast you threw those few years ago. You were most accommodating
It's like,
to a poor old hoosecarl as myself at the time.
yes, poor Huskarl. Now I remember you more. Right, yes. How about that Aitlin boy? I hear he's from your farmstead. Maybe you know him?
Oh,
He might have
yes, of
sworn
course.
himself to you.
Oh no, actually not. I'm afraid he isn't sworn to me. He's a lower degree than that. He's sworn to one of my hoosecarls. I find
He
it kind
says,
of.
I've heard he's risen in recent months. Seems to have quite a bit of gold to throw around.
Oh yes.
They say that when the merchants come, he gambles with them and just always seems to win. Strange how that happens.
Well,
Invested well. He's a powerful man around these parts.
yes, he is a very, very good man. I am glad my trust in him was not ill-founded.
If you do trust him, it's good to
Well-
hear. It's good to know that a man
Well-
such as you can trust a man such as him.
Well, how do you think you got started? I mean, you don't earn that much working under an hoosecarl. His start came from when I saw his potential and gave him capital to get started.
So he just kind of like goes, and nods his head a bit and just kind of like looks at you. He gives you a significant glance. I feel like that should, if there was an episode title, that should be the name of it. There's going to be a lot of those today.